Hey, so today I want to talk about another random thing because I'm dumb. Anyway, I just want to talk about something that has been on the internet for a long time. And I remember I was watching a video that it was talking about some person. I don't even remember who the hell they were talking about. But this person had they did like one of those internet tests, those online tests that are like everywhere, right? And it made me think like that'd be funny to talk about because I feel like a lot of people have seen online tests or maybe even like taken them just to see like what the hell they were supposed to be. And there's people who take these online tests and they use it as like their gospel of sorts, right? Like they take a test that's like, are you autistic? Are you gay or straight? Are you secretly a woman? Are you a lobster in disguise? Like it's always just something like weird, right? Or it's just kind of like something like basic, like trying to be like, ooh, make you question yourself. But the reality is, these tests mean nothing, right? And I've done a couple of online tests solely because I was always interested in how like I wanted to know like how do they come to this fucking conclusion on anything, right? But there's also those weird online tests that are like, what type of bread are you? Who would be your girlfriend from this popular TV show? What anime universe would you go to? And it's always like really fucking weird ones. But like I said, there's online tests that are just kind of like basic, like am I a psychopath? Am I gay? There's a lot of like are you gay or straight ones and autistic ones. Those ones are like the two I've seen the most, the gay and straight ones. And then there's like a third one that I remember when I was like about like 17 or something, I would always see people in my school talking about it. And there were these tests that were like talking about like, oh, how sexually active are you? What type of kinky things do you do? And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, we're still in high school. You guys are taking these tests. They're like, hell yeah. And then they'd always show their scores, and it'd always be like, oh, you're kinky. You're a BDSM king or queen. That type of shit. And I remember those tests, and I've had people in my school in the past like tell me to take them. I don't know if it was my cousin. I don't know somebody else. Well, it probably has to be my cousin. He's the only person I talked to. But I remember somebody when I was at least an adult told me like, hey, you should take this like weird sex test, right? And those ones are so fucking creepy to me because it's basically like some fucking like 90-year-old dude on the other side of the keyboard just like collecting like users like sexual data. Just like, oh, old Jimmy, 32 from Wisconsin. Oh, he likes to be peed on. He likes a bit of the golden shower. A bit of golden tea. Like, it's weird. Like they're weird tests. They make me think like Jesus Christ, you're literally just telling some like weird dude who's probably jerking it right now that you like it when someone blows their load in your ass. And it's like I don't think that's really something that needs to be screamed from the heavens, but I mean, who am I to say? I've said a lot of weird things. And honestly, I don't know. But like online tests, they're not just those, right? There's oh yeah, I remember there were tests that were like answer these questions will tell you if you're a virgin. Those ones that are like, and here's the thing I hate about these types of tests: the tests that are like, answer these questions will tell you if you're insert thing, right? So what those tests will do in particular is they'll ask you like nonsense questions like, what is your ideal date, or which hand is your dominant hand? What's your favorite color? They'll ask you like 20 questions, right? 19 of them will be irrelevant, not even like relevant to whatever the topic is. But then the 20th question will be, are you that thing, right? So if you're doing a test it's like, are you gay or straight, right? There will be 19 questions that have nothing to do with sexuality. And then there will be a 20th question that'll say, are you gay or straight? And then you answer. And then the thing at the end will be like, you are whatever you answered. And it's like, what's the fucking point? Because you'll have 19 questions asking about your shoe size and what school did you go to and what's your favorite color and have you cut your nails recently? And then the very last question is literally just asking, are you gay or straight? And then you answer accordingly. And then the thing will be like, this test has decided that you are whatever you answered. So if you click straight, they're gonna be like, you are straight. And it's like I've seen so many tests where they literally have bullshit questions, but then the last one is literally just, are you this thing? Like I've seen like those psychopaths ones where they'll just be like nothing. They'll just be like, have you ever climbed a tree? Have you ever been to the hospital? Do you love your parents? And then the last one will be like, are you a psychopath? And it's like, no. And they're like, you are not a psychopath. And then, those are very few though. I've from a lot of the ones I've seen, there's a few of them that do that, and it's really fucking stupid. And then there's the novelty ones where they're like, who's your celebrity crush? Oh, it's Ryan Reynolds because you said that you liked tofu or something. I don't fucking know. But they always ask like nothing, right? Like those ones are like, what type of banana are you? How many soccer balls can you fit in your ass? And it's always just like something stupid. And the questions are just like, which one of these foods looks delicious? And then there's just like three cakes, and then the last one's like a dead fish. And then there's like a question that's like, which car would you like? And then there's like three cars, and then the last one is a dead fish again. And it just keeps going, and then every last one is like a dead fish, right? And then if you, doesn't matter what you pick, it just like randomly generates where it's just like your celebrity crush, your celebrity crush is Snoop Dogg. Like it's always just like shit like that, and it's like this is nothing. But like those ones that are like, which character from a show are you? And I bet you there's one on like that new Wednesday show. I bet you there's already a fucking test of that. Which character from Wednesday are you? I know that's a fucking test already. Because every time there's a new show, there is a fucking test that's like, which character from show are you? And it's just like so fucking weird. But they're funny. See, here's the thing. I think the internet test things are funny when they're like kind of like just stupid novelties, or even things that like explicitly say do not take this seriously, right? Because a lot of the ones that like have to do with like sexuality or being a psychopath or sociopath or being autistic or having ADHD or having depression, anxiety, all that kind of shit. Those ones, they never like say like, oh, this one isn't false or this one isn't jokey. They're like, this is serious. This is 100% serious. But an internet test does not tell me if I'm autistic or any of that shit, right? Not to mention, some of the tests just have like easy like questions where it's just like, how would anyone how would anyone believe that this test is like genuinely reading their mind? Because like for example, the idea of like that like are you a virgin test, those ones will ask like a question, right? And they'll have like two answers. One will be the question will be like, what's your ideal nighttime? And it'll be like, and one like top one will be like sex, and then bottom one is like reading a nice book with a cup of tea. And then the next question is, how many times have you fucked your boyfriend or girlfriend? And then the top one's like many times, and the second one's like never. And it's like, well, if you have like 10 questions and the top answer is fucking and the bottom one is not fucking, and the question is about whether or not someone's a virgin, and someone picks the bottom one, what do you think? Like if someone picks all the answers about fucking, then that probably tells you, unless they're like one of those really insecure people that like constantly feel the need, like that stereotype joke that was like in all the shows back then where they were like, yeah, I fucked a girl. You don't know her. She goes to a different like school. She goes somewhere else. She's like from Canada and shit, man. Like those. But those like some of those tests are just like basically just like here's two answers, and it's like what's the fucking point? Because basically the answers literally tell the answer. Like it tells you what the result of your test is going to be. So it's like what's the point? But then like these tests about like autism are always just like, do you not like loud sounds? Or do you not like public places? Do you not like being touched? Do you struggle to communicate? It's like, it's basically like what those autistic tests are kind of just like someone who looked up what like the actions of an autistic person would be like, and then they like ask the question like, would you do this, would you do this, would you do this? And then if you answer like yes to any of them, they're gonna be like, you are high functioning autistic, or you are low functioning autistic, or you are not autistic. But that's how those things work, right? It's just like, are you autistic or not? And it's baseless. And there's so many people on the internet who love to take those internet tests at like face value, where they they go on it and they're like, "What mental disorder do you have?" And then they take a test and it's like, "You have PTSD." And then they like wear that as like their badge. They go on the internet and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I have a bad reaction to people doing things. I have PTSD. I took an internet test and oh my God, you should have seen it. I'm like, I like remember the things too bad. It's so bad." But those people probably don't have PTSD. They just went on the internet, took a random test that is not verified by anyone and is just made by some dude in his fucking basement, probably. But then again, you probably need money for that. So it's probably just made by like some weird guy who had enough money to burn. So he's like, I'm going to make a funny test on the internet. And so he just took like a mental disorder test. And he's like the two questions are, which chips do you prefer? Pringles or Doritos? And then if you pick Pringles, they'll be like, you are going to die tomorrow. You know, that's not a mental disorder. But dying tomorrow is not a mental disorder. That's more of a full ass body shutdown disorder. But the tests are always so fucking weird, right? Like, I've taken quite a few of them because I think the idea of them are funny. And I've taken like tests that are like meant to be serious. I've taken the jokey tests like what celebrity are you? What celebrity would you want to fuck? All that kind of shit. And so many of them are funny because it's always just like why like why anything in these tests. And then there's like I said, there's like the dirtier test, the fucking like I can't remember what it was called. There was a test that was going around on the internet where people were talking about, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like testing how innocent of a person you were or not. And like so many people were like posting like, "Oh, I'm not a very innocent person." And I remember I was like, "I don't know what the fuck this is." And I looked it up, and like all the questions were just like, "How many times have you choked your girlfriend? How many times have you fucked them raw? How many times have you gaped them? How many times have you fucking bent their legs back until they screamed in agony?" And it's just like, holy shit, dude. Those tests are the funniest fucking was. Because it's funny just like the idea that people go on the internet and they go to this nondescript website that is obviously not safe, probably installing like a virus onto your phone or computer. Meanwhile, they're just answering truthfully, like, why, yes, I do like to drink cum. Yes, I do like it when my boyfriend shits in my shoes and then I wear them. Huh, yes, I do love when they shove their entire foot in my mouth while they have fungus all over. Yes, I do love this. Like, because there's some dude who made this probably as like a way of like seeing as many people's fetishes as possible. And you're just like going there being like, my name is Melissa Belissa and I have a taint fetish. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the fuck people say. But like it's just weird because those ones are literally just people going straight up on like it's different if like you go somewhere and you're just like unashamed to like say certain things about yourself. That's one thing because you're just like putting it out there for the sake of just not really caring. But you're going to like some nondescript website with some creepy person who could easily use that website as like a way of like I don't know, like as soon as you go to the website, it tracks your computer. So now this person can find where you live. Now they know your fetishes and they can probably do some fucked things. But I don't know. I'm probably just being a bit overreactive. And I kind of am because that whole innocence test came and went. And so did most of those like sex related ones where they came and went. And they probably literally came and then went. But I don't know. I always found those ones funny because you would always see whenever like a new one pops up, people go on like Twitter and they're like, "Oh man, I'm kinky," or "Oh man, I'm so vanilla," and those tests are so fucking funny solely because people like they're like crazy about it. Like they're crazy about like showing off that man they can fuck you like no one can, and it's like it's just a test. Like you can go on a test and say like, "Oh yeah, I want to be whipped," but the second someone breaks out a whip, you'd be like, "Oh, I don't want that." Like I can say a lot. I talked about how I like big girls that could chuck me like a football, but the reality is I don't want to actually be chucked like a football. I talk about how I like creepy girls who are like threatening to kill me, but at the end of the day, I don't want a girl to actually fucking kill me. I just think the aesthetic of it is hot, which is not much of an aesthetic. It's more of a red flag. Anyway, I have brain damage. Anyway, my point being, online tests are funny. Some of them are wacky, some of them are just downright stupid. Some of them people wear as a badge of honor that shows that they have a mental disability that they can milk on the internet, and some are kinky. And before anyone asks, no, I will not reveal what I got on any of those weird tests that I took just out of curiosity. I don't know why I talk, really. Probably because I have brain damage. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Online tests are funny. They've always been funny. Most of them are like usually websites that take you to a place that gives you a virus. But some of them are funny enough that it's kind of worth getting a virus, I guess. Just make sure you do it on like a, I don't know, like a secondary phone or a computer that you don't mind getting exploded, basically. So yeah, online tests are funny, sometimes kinky, and sometimes just stupid. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever.